Alright, welcome to this video tutorial. Now we're on introduction to PixelLab here. So when you open your PixelLab app, this is what you're going to see by default. You see your canvas, your blank canvas, and then you see new text on top of it. Now at the base, which is this part which I'm touching, you see my project. My project, if you click on my project, you see the things that you have worked on before now on PixelLab. Then you can always open them in case of anyone that you want to open. For example, the flyer we use for this class, this is where the project in which it was done. So you can also choose different backgrounds that are already appearing by default on PixelLab. So these are the different backgrounds that you already have by default in PixelLab. Then also, let's go to the top of the screen and see what we have there. Now you're going to see a plus icon here. Now that plus icon is used for addition. You can use it to add text. For example, this is me adding a new text, and I can always edit the text. I will show you how to do that. You can add the current dates, you can add sticker, you can add shapes. Now this is a rectangular shape, so you can add any shape you like. Then you can add photo from gallery. So this is me opening my gallery, and any photo at all I need, I can always open it. Okay, let me look for a photo and bring in. Okay, and for example, I just imported this photo now into my PixelLab through this add button. Then I can also draw. Can always draw whatever I need to draw. So that is how you can use that particular button up there. Then the other button, which is this here, that particular button is used for saving. Now when you are done with your PixelLab project, you can save it as a project. Now when you save as a project, it means that you can always come back to edit that work anytime you want. I showed you where your projects, you can always access your project. So anything you save as a project, you can always access it when you click on this place. Then save as image. When you click on save as image, you're going to save it as either in JPEG format or as PNG format. That's what you save it as, JPEG or PNG. Then the dimensions, you have default, custom, low, medium, high, very high, or ultra. I usually prefer ultra for a better picture quality. Then if it's saving as projects, you just give your project the name and automatically it saves. Anytime you want to open it, you come to my projects and then you get it. Then share. What you just finished designing, you can share it directly on Facebook. Can you see that here? You can share it on Facebook, Twitter, Google, WhatsApp, Instagram, Dropbox. So you can always use direct sharing. If the design is meant for advertisement, you can share it to these platforms directly from this place. Then this place, when you have this particular mark, you can see quotes here. So you can see things like, when you fail to, you learn from the mistakes you made and it motivates you to work even harder. So all of these things are quotes you can always use in your design, just in case you're trying to create nuggets or inspiration posts. So here, where you have your theory docs, you're going to see similar things that you see in the plus. You can get image from gallery. Then you can make this your canvas a full screen, so you can use the whole of the screen for your design. Then you can export your image, which is same thing as you have as saving. This is, so when you want to save to gallery, same thing as exporting image. You can change the image size. So this particular canvas, anytime you open it, always be 1280 by 1280 pixel. This is PixelLab, so the size is in pixel. Then and you have your tutorials, remove ads, recover autosave, and so on and so forth. Now here, where you have this, it's just for you to work on the things you have. Now when you see something like this, is copy. is copied, and this is to adjust the size, then this is to move it in different direction, this is to rotate, this to take bring forward, and this is to take back. We'll see all of these things as time goes on. And this is to delete. For example, I want to delete this test, I'll just click on this, say delete selected objects, I will delete it. Then here is to reverse what I've done. For example, I just deleted. If I press this now, automatically it comes back. So you can reverse what you mistakenly apply in PixelLab using that particular undo button. This is for zooming. With zooming, I can always zoom in and I can zoom out. It's all my choice in PixelLab. So then this is for alignment. You will learn this as time goes on. Then here, when you click on this place, you see all the elements I've used here. For example, I've added new text, which is what you have here. I added shape, which is this shape you have here. Then I added photo from my gallery. So these are the three things that are on this canvas. When you click here, you see every other thing. Any other thing I add again, for example, let me add a new text. Automatically, you see it showing up. Yeah, so that's it for the top part. Then let's go down to other things. Now at this base, you see A, then you see right this place, you see A, then you see this stuff here, this shape, then you see this other shape, then you see this other shape. All of these things are significant. Now I'm going to be explaining what each of them do. Now this A is for test. So you can use it to add text, you can use it to add code, which is also you have here, and also to add text here. So whenever you have added a text, you can always use from this A to edit the text. Now if you click on this place, you can't edit anything here because it is not for shapes or drawing or pictures. This one is for shapes, drawing or pictures, but this one is for text, anything text. That is what it works on. Then this one is for the background. If you want to change the color of the background, this is what you use. So this is for working on the background. If you want the background to be transparent, this is what you use. Then you can always increase the image size here too, same thing with what we did at the other side. Then you can import image that's already available in PixelLab by default. Then you can also bring from gallery, and at the same time you can also get image directly from your camera. So all of these things are available here. So it's for background, that's what you work with. So let's go back to our test. Now for our test, this first place which you see edit is where you can be able to edit what is in the test. So for example, let's write happy birthday. So this is happy birthday. I'll be deleting this shape, please. Alright, I'll be deleting this too. So this is happy birthday. So I've edited what is in the text. Now if you see me, I was dragging something. This is just to increase the size of the text. This is to increase the size of the text. Now I can delete this text and I can bring this back if it was a mistake. I can copy this text using this particular symbol here, copy. So I've copied it. Then I can take this text to front and I can take the text to back. Now for you to understand this, I may need to import a picture or maybe one of those photos, one of the photos I deleted. Let me bring one photo out. Alright, now this is the test. Now if I take this text down, you won't see it because it's at the back. But if I bring it to front, when I bring it down now, you see it's now on the image. If I take it to the back, it's now at the back of the image. If I take it to the front, it's now at the front of the image. So that's how that works. Then position. If you don't want to use your hand to manually shift these things, you can use position to shift it. So this is left, right, up, down. Left, right, up, down. Then you where the distance it moves as each click is adjusted. If you want it to move very slowly, you can use it as 1 pixel. So this is how you use this particular option. Then this relative position is used for 16ths. Now this one you have at the middles is to, for example, this is to place it at the middle relative to the right and the left. So this is at the middle now. This is at the middle. Then you have relative to the up and the down, you also have it at the middle. So as this thing is now, from the four sides it is at the middle. Then you can take it to the extreme left, you can take it to the extreme right, you can take it to the top, extreme top, you can take it to the extreme bottom, or you can leave it at the middle. So that's what the relative position is used for. Then instead of manually dragging that to increase the text, you can also from here increase the size of the text. So there are many ways to achieve whatever you want to achieve, but the choice remains yours. Then we'll talk about padding later. There are some fonts where you use padding, not here. Then we'll talk about that later. Then color. You can change the color of your text. When you open your PixelLab, there are different colors that open for you. So you have different kind of colors that you can work with. So these are different colors that we can work with in PixelLab. Then texture. Texture is if you want to add maybe an image to a text. I know you must have seen designs where it seems like there are some things that are hidden in the in the text, like images inside the text. So let's see what that looks like. I'll add a photo to it. Okay, let me use this same photo we've used before. If you look inside of that, you can see this photo appearing inside. It's not that expressive anyway, so let me check if I can get another photo that can help us see this better. Okay, let me see what this will look like. Alright, so you can see the green, you can see the notebook, everything that is in there is visible. Is visible inside the text. So that's what texture can do. So if you don't want to use color, you can use texture. So, and you can always delete it anytime you want. Then that's how texture operates. Remember, we're just doing introduction to PixelLab. Then the opacity. The opacity is to reduce the how visible it is. Now you see I'm reducing it and it's getting lost in the background. So there are some things you see it's dull in the background, it's hidden in the background. So it's opacity that is being used to affect that. So if you reduce it, it gets lost. The more you increase it, it gets more visible. Then rotate. In rotating, you can rotate your text to any angle you have. There are some places you see some text is bent, slanty. So this is what you can use to achieve that. You can also use this place to achieve it, this particular icon you have here. So just try your hands on it, try your hands on it. Alright, then let's continue. Then you have the mask tool. Mask tool is used for cutting a part of the text. You can use to cut part of the text in your design. For example, see I've cut part of this thing as a result of the mask tool, and I can always adjust it anyhow I want using these buttons that are available. You see I brought it down and it has been masked. Do you see it? So I can always use it to cut any part of the text I want to cut out and leave the remaining part. So as time goes on, you understand how these things are applied in design. Then fonts. Font is where you get the different kind of typefaces that you can use for your design. So by default, these are the fonts you have in PixelLab. So as I'm tapping it, you'll be seeing changes here. So just watch that particular place. You'll be seeing changes. So when you open your PixelLab, also go and see what the different fonts look like. You must have seen script fonts too. Fonts that look playful. So you can always add that from this. Let's look at this one. So you see playful fonts. So that's what you have under the fonts section. You can change the fonts apart from the one that PixelLab gave you by default. Then style. Style is where you can make your stuff bold, and you can always cancel it using this T that is here, this T that is stroke. So it's for you to cancel what you just applied. So if you press bold, you see it's getting bold. If you press this I that's slanty, you make it italic. Then if you press this U, you underline it. Do you understand? So that's how you operate that. Then curve, you can always make your right up bend. So just in case maybe you want to put it around the cycle, this is how you can achieve it, by curving it. So you can always play around with it. Then background, you can add background to your text alone. So do you see that now a background has appeared behind our text? So you can add colors to that particular background, and it's definitely going to come out well when you choose the right color. So if you look at the blue, I think the blue is quite okay. Then you can also use can always use other colors. So just ensure that the two colors, they go together. Once they go together, you're going to come out with something beautiful. So this is the background, and that particular background which you added, you can always adjust it. So all of these things you also get to learn it with time. Alright, then alignment. Now remember, this is a test. You can align it to the left, center, and to the side. Now where you see this in application is if I type something long. Okay, let me just type something very long. What is a beautiful place to live in? Now I've typed something long already. Now by default, whenever you are typing in PixelLab, it's always be the right alignment, but you can make it centered. Are you seeing it now? And you can make it to the left, or you can justify it. Justify it is trying to make sure that all the spaces are filled up as much as possible. So you can always play with that. So let's make it the right alignment. Then spacing. You can work on the spacing between the letters and the spacing between the words. Now you see, the more I increase it, you are seeing spacing. So there are some typing, you see there will be space in between. This is how it is being achieved. Then for in between words, you see there will be spaces between the words. So this is how you can achieve it. Then line spacing, this is the space which you have in between. This space is there, is what you have line spacing. So you can increase it and you can decrease it to bring it together. So all of these things are your choice. Then stroke is to cause lines to appear around the text. So you see by default it's already on black, so I can change it to any color of my choice. That's what stroke does. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? So you can always work with it and come up with something beautiful and interesting. Then the stroke size too, you can always increase the width, you see, and you can always decrease the width. So that's left for you to do depending on the kind of design you want to come up with. Then shadow, you can add shadow to your text. So and you can also decrease the opacity of the shadow. Can you see that if I increase it, it shows very well. If I decrease it, it shows in a little way. Then the radius, you can increase how wide it will go or how small it will be. That's what we call the blur radius. So you have different color of shadows that you can add to your text. That's up to you. You can also add inner shadow, a similar thing. That one is going to be added inside the text. Are you getting it now? So that one will appear inside the text, while the other one is appearing outside. This one is appearing inside. Then embox is for you to make your image, to your whatever you are emboxing, to come out well, like a solid, like it's something solid. Now you just need to adjust it a little for it to come out well. Now I will zoom this for you to see the beauty of embox. Can you see it? So it looks like something that is framed on the canvas. So it's not just like a plain text. It's not like something that is built into the canvas. This is the plain text and this is the embossed image. So then perspective. With perspective you can be able to change the way the text are aligned. For example, So you can go to change the way tests are aligned. Are you seeing that now? So this is perspective. So there are some places and there are some tests you see is like it's coming out of the design. So you can use perspective to achieve that. Can you see how this looks like? So the world is a beautiful place to live in. So it's looking like it's coming from inside. This is designed for you. Several effects, several things can be done using the right tools. Yeah. Then 3D rotate, you can rotate the text, you can rotate the test. So outside of just normal upside down rotation, in 3D rotate you can rotate it inside, outside, side, side. So that's what 3D rotates for. Then 3D text, you can make your text 3D. Can you see that? You can make your text 3D, so it has some 3D shape at the behind of it, and you can always work on it for it to come out well. Then 3D shadow, that's, do you see that? So outside of the normal shadow which you can add to the text, you can add 3D shadow. And that 3D shadow, you remember, you can increase opacity, decrease it, decrease the blur radius, increase it. So all is just left, so you can expand it, decrease the expansion. So you can always do your adjustment, you can always change the colors. All of these things are left for you to try it out, so your hands can go on it. Then reflection, you can add reflection. Now can you see the test rows? Can you see the reflection of the test? So I can only set how far it is from the test. That's what we call the vertical offset. So this is the reflection of what I've done. If it's an image, same thing will happen to it, but what we're editing now is the test, not an image. So we're already done with the test. Then let's go ahead to the image. Then we are using this image as an example. For editing image, you come to this place. Now when you have not clicked on any image, what you see is stickers, import image, draw, shapes, bezier tool, and arrow. So but when you click on the image, automatically you are seeing delete, crop, copy, and all of that. So let's see what is used. Crop is used for cropping out any part of the image you want to crop out. So I crop out some part. Then you can copy this image, which is using this copy. Then you can take it to the front and to the back. I've explained that. Position, relative position, same thing with what you have in the test. Then this is an ordinary image, so you can, if you press color, automatically to bring out any color. But let's draw a shape. Let's draw a shape and let's color the shape. So you can always color your shapes any color you like. So that's how we use the color section of it. Then texture. Okay, let me draw a shape again. I think we're using more of this shape. So in this texture, you can add an image to it. So how do you add image? When you click on it, you can add anything inside. So that thing we imported, that image we use, we can import it inside the shape. Now it's the shape is actually bigger. So if you press this, it will stretch the image to fill up the space, or you reduce the size of the image to fit in to what you have as the image you put in as texture. So in this way you can add several things and add it as texture to your particular shape. Then the shape, you can increase or decrease the opacity. Let me just add a color to it. Then let me show you what's increasing. So you can see a decrease in the opacity, and then you can see an increase in the opacity. So that's how you do that. Then color filters. In color filters, you can change the color using this hue. Hue is to change the color of the image. Now we're going to use that for this particular photo here. So when you click on it, you see it's changing the color. It's changing the color of it. So that's what you use hue for. Then for saturation, saturation shows, make it either brighter or dim, either more colorful or dim. While the brightness increases the brightness, how sharp it will be, or decreases it to be dark. While contrast shows the contrast between different colors to make it more obvious. So that's how these color filters are done. For example, if I want to make this black and white, it's just to decrease the saturation, and automatically this is a black and white image. Meanwhile, the original image was colorful. So that's how you use that. Then the eraser, you can use the eraser to erase any part of the image you intend to erase. So you see, I can erase this. I can erase this guy's head, and when I'm done with erasing that, you see it is already out. So I can erase any part I want to erase. And max 2 too, you can use max 2 for the same function which we had in our text and adjust it to remove some parts of the image you want to remove. Then erase color. There may be a specific color you want to erase for the image. You can always erase it. Now let me show you how that looks like. For example, I want to erase black. See what I clicked on this to pick up black. So automatically you see black is getting missing. His suit was the first thing that got affected. So, and even his hair and his beards, everything black is going out. Are you seeing it now? So same thing with white or any other color I don't want to appear in the background. You'll see how these things are used with time. Then rotate, same thing with rotate. 3D rotate, same thing as I showed you. 3D shape, you can make it appear like 3D. Let's use this shape here. Can make it appear like 3D. Alright, yeah. So this is what we have here as 3D shape. Alright, then let's continue. Let's continue. Perspective, just like what I told you, you can always adjust it. So this looks like something that's coming out of the screen. That's what perspective can be used for. Same thing with what we had in our text. Then outer shadow, inner shadow, and embox. Now when you embox here, you see the stuff looks like what is engraving. Can you see how it looks like at the edges? So you can always check it out yourself in your PixelLab. Sorry. Alright, so we are done with this particular part. So with this, you have gone through the functions of PixelLab. Thank you very much.